The swing states. Elections are won by swing states, presidential elections anyway. And there is no more important state this election cycle than the state of Pennsylvania, my old stomping grounds. I still have all kinds of family in that state. I love the state, but it's a state that can blow a bunch of different directions and frustrate us to no end. Scott Presler, to his credit, realized that and has planted his butt in that state to try to win it for us. Joining me now, founder of Early Vote Action, my friend Scott Presler. Okay, Scott, don't blow sunshine on me. You know what I'm talking about. How are we doing in Pennsylvania? Are we getting our teeth kicked in? Are we coming back? What's the deal?
Well, objectively, Jesse, Michael Pressman, I think his name is, he posted the voter registration data for the last month for states all across the nation. And Republicans actually in Pennsylvania added more Republican voters than even the state of Florida in the last 30 days in PA. And we are out registering the Democrats 2-1. And furthermore, the Democrats are actually down 430,000 mail-in ballots from where they were 4 years ago at the same time. So the voter registration numbers, Jesse, look good. The mail-in ballot numbers look good. However, I have broken 2 election integrity stories, Jesse. The first one, that the Luzerne County Board of Elections is backlogged with thousands of unprocessed voter registration and mail-in ballot applications. That's story number 1. The story number 2 was during the historic Trump-Butler rally. The Pennsylvania Department of State scheduled maintenance on that day, and we uncovered that and made sure that the website was going to be up and running even during Trump's rally. Now, the third thing, and I know I'm taking a lot of time, but this is important. I have heard that Board of Elections are telling voters that there is no early voting in Pennsylvania. That is a lie. That is not true. And if you go to your Board of Election by beginning on October 15th, ask with this language that I'm about to tell you. You're going to request an on-demand, in-person mail-in ballot. And if anybody tells you that there is no early voting, you pull out your phone, you record it, and you send it to your buddy that has 1.7 million followers on X, and we will make that very public to the rest of the nation.
On demand, in person. Remember the language you used. On demand, in person. Okay, Scott. All right. Now, there's something that fascinates me. What motivates people to vote? Kamala Harris has famously been against fracking, for fracking. Well, here she is.
I wanted to ask you, there's a political ad on TV from a 2019 Climate Hall town meeting that you had, in which you basically said, quote, "There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking," unquote. The ad claims that if you're elected president, you will ban fracking and you will cost Pennsylvania over 300,000 jobs. Have you changed your view on fracking? And if so, why?
So let me start by saying that ad, as you described it, is absolutely a mischaracterization that I think is intended to make people afraid of my presidency. And let me be absolutely clear, as I've been when I said it back in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I did not as vice president. In fact, I cast the tie-breaking vote to open up more fracking leases. And my perspective on this is grounded in a number of things.
Scott, you are the one here registering people in Pennsylvania. Are these people registering because they are in love with Donald Trump or because they are angry at the state of the country, Joe Biden specifically? Are they disgusted by Kamala Harris? Those comments. What are people saying to Scott Presler when they're punching their name on the Republican voter registration ticket?
Well, I think it's everything, Jesse. Look, at the end of the day, people are afraid of a Kamala Harris presidency. She'll stack the Supreme Court. She'll make D.C. a 51st state. She'll take away our opportunity to ever have conservative Supreme Court justices, conservative judicial appointments. She'll keep that border open. She'll give 30 million illegal alien citizenship. She'll expand DACA. She'll continue to get us into World War III and beyond. She will send young men and women into war. She'll continue to increase our inflation, and we're not going to be able to afford homes and cars and gas and groceries. And at the same time, that's why people are registering to vote for President Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, we did not have new war. We had peace. Under Donald Trump, we had a secure border, and now it's open. Under Donald Trump, we had more jobs. It was easier to afford groceries and everything else. So really, there is no more stark contrast between the 4 years of President Trump and the 4 years now under the feckless and dangerous policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And I think that's why we're seeing Democrats switch to Republican by 3 times more than Republicans are switching to Democrat, and why we're seeing double the amount of people registering to vote as Republican than Democrat. Pennsylvania wins the White House, guys. Usually you see a bubbly, fun Scott. This is a serious Scott because our country is on the line. You have until October 21st to register to vote. Make sure that you are meeting that deadline, and make sure that you are making a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 5th for Donald Trump and our entire Republican ticket.
Scott, Pennsylvania has a huge Amish population. Tell me about Amish voters. I'm well familiar with Amish people. Those are my people. My grandpa Hank, rest in peace, Grandpa Hank. That was his side of the family. So I spent a bunch of time with Amish people in Pennsylvania. They certainly look at life differently. They operate differently. Do they vote? Who do they vote for? Has Scott Presler been out there eating Amish butter? Who are these people?
We are courting the Amish vote here in Pennsylvania. I want to make it very clear. Democrat Governor Shapiro is waging a war on the Amish, on raw milk, on dairy, on farming, school choice, on religious freedom, on small businesses, on the opportunity to afford to have large families. And so we are going out to these sawmills, to the dairy farms. I just got a list of thousands of Amish addresses that my organization, Early Vote Action, is going to be reaching out to, is going to be courting those votes and giving them voter registration applications. Again, the last day to register to vote is October 21st.
Scott, okay, now if people want to help, because people do want to help, they oftentimes can feel helpless. I'm sitting here in Texas. Yes, we have to vote. We have to get involved. But I have a red state. Donald Trump's going to win my state. I can't help Scott Presler in Pennsylvania win the state that's going to win the White House, right?
Absolutely. That is not true. Look, if you live in California, Massachusetts, Alabama, Tennessee, you're in a red state, you're in a blue state, you can download my application, Early Vote Action. It's on Android. It's on iPhone. You can text people, you can call them, you can write postcards. We have a Jewish campaign up since we had the remembrance of October 7th, the travesty that Kamala Harris via Iran funded Hamas, funded the attacks, the terrorist attacks against Israel and the Jewish people. We also have a pro-peace campaign that is reaching out to young men that are 18 to 35 with a pro-peace, anti-war message that, again, Kamala is going to send young men and women to fight for wars that we didn't have under President Trump. There is something for everyone. There is no excuse why everybody at home can't do their part to help make sure that we are electing Donald Trump and our entire Republican ticket this November.
All right, real quick, before I let you go, Scott, I do have to ask, Philadelphia, what do we say to all the people screaming at you and me at the television right now saying none of this matters because Philly's a dirty place, is going to find the cheating votes they need? What do we say to those people?
Well, I say to those people respectfully, you're a part of the problem. If you at home are shouting at me to do more, I mean this respectfully, what are you doing at home? What are you doing to save our country? Are you registering voters? Are you knocking on doors? Are you talking to your neighbors? Are you registering and making a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 5th? With all due respect, stop waiting for Jesse Kelly and Scott Presler to save the world. We need you at home to help save our country. 25% of Philadelphia wins this election, wins the White House. 40% of Allegheny County, Pittsburgh wins the White House. We need to up our vote in Erie County and Northampton County. And by doing that, by simply winning 25% of Philadelphia for Donald Trump, meaning we lose 75% of Philly, we win Pennsylvania, guys.
Scott Presler, go, help. Let's go win. Scott, I appreciate it. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.